Where did I get this number? I'm at list 4. And it should be April 5th on Rumble, April 6th probably on YouTube. That's technically the day that you're watching this should be my birthday, which ought to be nice. So for my birthday, I decided to do some Blender work so that I'd actively have some tools that I've been intending to finish off making complete. But in order to do that, I do need to turn off this VTuber. But I really did want to show you the VTuber because it's a swooshy hair VTuber, and it gives me something to have a face on instead of doing the, do it back and forth crap. So you'll give me a second. I'd actually just do this. But today we're operating on this thing above. In order to make it simpler, I should probably just go over here. That is wrong. This is my transition, which is known as green light, that I use, that I've made. But currently my plan is to try and use a couple techniques in order to try and make it better than what it is currently, because my current transition kind of stinks. I'll also try and put it in light what I'm doing, but it is rather weird to look at it that way because it's just me working on making something glow at a specific period, basically by making it exist at a certain period instead of glowing at that specific time, because basically I'm removing it until it's supposed to glow in its own way. I can't really explain it properly. So there's a few things that I'm going to have to do. I can try and edit from this. Okay, at least that I can do. So let's move this back over to the camera, and then let's try and... Currently the operation is mostly in the background a little bit. I actually do a split right here. Wrong. Inside of this particular area, where you actively identify what type of object it is and a couple other important features, but specifically inside the material aspect. So what I've got to do is I got to change it back to principal BSBF. I also have to change this to alpha blend so that the alpha is kind of my choice. I've got to go question the kitty that is acting in a questionable manner. Editor version. This is the editing version of me after the video is recorded, filling in the gaps where, audio isn't, to make sure that the content isn't boring. So Rumble chose to do something annoying. Apparently the birthday video that I was intending to release on April 5th on YouTube and April 4th on Rumble for Rumble was not convenient to be on April 4th. So they chose to release it instead on a way earlier period. So I got to get a nice surprise one time when I was just clicking on my phone and through the Rumble app to check, like, did I earn anything yet? And found out my video was released prematurely, which is annoying for a birthday video. I do wish that they fixed that. Other than that, I do think that I think the service has plenty of potential, but I do feel like it is somewhat limited. I think that the service has potential, but I do feel like it does have plenty of flaws inside of the system, and it does have to fix a few of them. I do still intend to upload to it primarily because, ignoring everything else, I'm kind of stuck with it. But, it is something to actively put in the memory bank for me personally, that they, took something that I scheduled to be later on released and then released it prematurely. Especially for something like New Year's, where it'd make me look like an absolute dunce. Where it's like, oh yes, release it at midnight at New Year's, and then it's like, oh, Hanukkah, Happy New Year's! Anyway, slight rant that'll be put inside of basically where there's no sound to make sure that people don't get bored. Hope it works. Currently, what we have is this. I'm going to render this real quick, but I cannot record while I'm doing that. So, since I have something to edit, I'll probably show you what this will look like with the alpha being used instead. But I might have to record it as a separate extension. And by that I mean I'm going to have to record it as a separate extension of this video, which does not bode all too bad, but does not bode all too well. See you at the other side. Okay, we're back. I'm about to show you what the original transition looked like before I modify it, then the way that I modify it to make it the way it is inside of the videos, and then the new editing style that is unmodified. So we'll see how that looks. So this is the original without any modification. It really stinks because there's no transparency. So then what we do is we make it into an add type blend mode, which adds it over and does apply this nice green look to the rest of it, but adds it over the existing material unless it is black, at which point it removes black so that it only lightens and adds the color that exists. Now we're going to delete that and then show you what the new one looks like. You get the actual dark out moment that makes it into a decent transition, but also the light effect. So it actually will still show when there's like a light out section, which I do believe that there's a few in whatever. Main point. This is the new transition, and I think I actually do prefer it. The thing that I would say is I do still wish that I greened it out a little bit on the black, but that is still modifiable. But I'm going to delete the original because, I can delete the original. Still, this is a pretty good transition, and I think I'll use it for at least a video because it is like maybe a little too short. Yeah, I'll have to fix that, but that's a pretty simple edit to do. Heck, just basically, okay. Okay, I would say, okay, if I could actually do what I'm thinking to do, copy that there. What the heck? Okay. Moving on from that. Then bluey. Go ahead, you get. Just extend that out naturally. So basically what you're... I've been recording the wrong variant screen. Yeah. This is the variant you're supposed to see. It did not show the one that it was supposed to be. That's actually annoying. Okay, I'm going to have to try and cut to this end. Okay. Or I could just, chop that original screen up and move on with my day, which I'm probably going to do. So, this one's more just a show of work in progress that I'm currently working on for external factors that basically I'm working on this. I'm not really going to be able to work on it properly from this extension or end, but it is something. This is something that I was intending to work on, so I might work on this, but it's mostly going to be putting legs in, I think, if I'm going to go down the boom routes, so I'm going to do that real quick. And you're going to see it from an external perspective. Woo! So, what we're going to do, we're in edit mode. The newer one has more swooshy hair. See? It swooshes. What is better than swooshy hair? Not being toasty. That is a good example. Be thankful for what you have, especially not being toasty. Well, actually, I like the warm weather, so not being chilly. Ba-da. Just an annoying aspect of that. Okay. I'm absolutely a completionist. I made sure my hair was swooshy. Swooshy, swooshy. Is it realistic? No. If you don't know what I'm doing right now, I'm basically adding armatures in so that it'll actually, move the way I want it to. So, I'm adding one spare armature down the middle here, and one for each jetpack end because I'm basing it off of the jetpack from Gundam Evolution, which, I mean, the reasoning being, if I'll actually... that, actively speaking, I want to actively... Well, I'm actually playing Gundam Evolution kind of right now, but I wanted something that I could animate and put in the background without actively having a VTuber. So I thought, since I was going to do it anyway, might as well actively make it different looking. Main problems, I accidentally made the eye a little bit more feminine than I intended, and because of that, certain aspects look more feminine than I meant it to, especially around the chest area, just because I went for aerodynamic and not external factors. Because of that, I will have to do some remodeling to try and actually do some exterior factors. I think what I've got to do is I've actually got to boost up the shoulders, which is more annoying than you might think, but the reason why I'm basing it off of that was kind of how Metroid handled trying to make Samus look at least somewhat masculine, while still respecting that she's supposed to be a girl. So, if that can make Samus masculine, it might work for this mesh. Or, I'm a utter failure, I can't figure it out. So I'm trying to set up an armature, which is basically a control point for the mesh, and if you don't know what a mesh is, it is known in 3D animator ease. Okay, I can't explain it better than think of object that is mesh. Okay, it is a project that is being actively worked upon. So, let's get back to it. Now, if you're wondering why it looks kind of weird for a Gundam, it's because it's kind of not a Gundam. Due to the fact that I've watched more Transformers as a kid, I actively have more, of a look at it. So I based it slightly off of Optimus Prime and off of the base Gundam from Gundam Evolution. And if it doesn't look realistic to an actual Gundam, I'm sorry about that, but it could pretty easily chalk that up to lack of experience. Because that is, I would at least consider valid. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to go down the Golden Rats with, like, a terrible person for it or anything. I literally just don't have experience, nor do I think that this is an actual Gundam or anything, so. But most of the inspiration of the helmet was based off of Optimus. But there are certain aspects, like the design of the, okay. Go over here. The design of the nose extension of the mask is more designed off of a Gundam because I saw that they did a little bit more of an aerodynamic design, and I kind of saw them tilt the interior inward, so I tried to actively do that in somewhat respect, but I got past that, I'm really flying blind as far as trying to do a Gundam, so I went more for an Optimus-esque design. Also edited in certain aspects, like for instance these go in, and other exterior factors. Now, and in case you're thinking, oh wow, you're spoiling crap right now, spoiling what? This might show up in a video somewhere. Maybe, eventually. In some sci-fi variant, it should be fine. I've got to actively do a lot of background stuff more than front-round stuff from here on, so I'm just going to actively leave that there. Thank you for checking out this video. I did kind of feel like making a human mesh from scratch, but that is going to take way too long. There are way too many distractions in the background. So I'm just going to shift this over to this perspective. Thank you guys for watching. I'm just going to change it over to this so it's easier for you guys to see and stuff. So, thank you guys for watching. Sushi here. Like if you will. If you subscribe, welcome to the ride. And yes, April 5th is my birthday. I'm 21 now. Halfway to 42. Which would have, whatever. Main point, April 5th is my birthday. It should upload at that period. If you like the video, like it if you will. It would be really appreciated. If you subscribe, it would be really appreciated because I've got 2 that I know on YouTube. And 1 that I know on Rumble too. So if you subscribe, welcome to the ride, and it would be appreciated, especially, it'd be a nice birthday present, if you could do that. And, don't die, it's no fun. I forgot an aspect. I'll just skip that. Don't die, it's no fun. I forgot to acknowledge that I meant to put music in the background, but also I couldn't figure out how to put the music, so it might not work anyway. So, moving on. Try to see how to edit this, the other one, and the next thing, oh well, Bob.